Hypocrisy Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shouts out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. The Real OV. What up, The Real OV? TRO. Merlin H. says she's not surprised. Sure enough, what it do? Dialogue with Me TV is watching. Patrick Millen. I hate mutts. Me too, man. Me too. Melanin Awakening. E. Allen says Shannon did it to himself. Lady Godiva. Lady Godiva. William Riddick. What's up, William? Dave Clark, Jamaica. Salute. Lady C's. Dover, Denmark. Denmark checking in. The Blaze Podcast. Marlon Reed. Oxtail Cook. That's what I'm talking about, man. I love some oxtails. Can't eat them a lot. Can't eat them often, but I tear up some oxtails, man. Oxtails is really, really not something that everybody can do. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like cooking hamburgers. Oxtails, you got to know what you're doing. You don't want that meat to be too tough because it tastes good, but it's tough. Then you don't know how to do the gravy. The gravy can't be all watery. You know, some people do that watery. Yeah, they don't know how to make it, you know. Yeah, that oxtails takes special. You got to know what you're doing to make the oxtails. Everybody can't do oxtails. Everybody can't do that. I see Trinidad checking in. What's up, Renee? What it do? All right, we got our island people in the house today. Charlene. What's up, Charlene? Woke up this morning, got a letter that she wrote. That's a dope song. Anthony Hamilton did his thing with that one. Nikki Crumbler. All right, fam, let's get into it. Let me put up a pic of Shannon. Let me say this, fam, just straight out the gate. This ain't cool at all to me. Like, I get it. You know, he met the chick, you know, he did this, did that, and they was doing freaky stuff and all of that. And he did it to himself. But come on, fam. Let me get into it first, and then I got some heavy commentary on this one. And I'm going somewhere with this that most of y'all ain't got a clue. I don't think, if I was to bet on this, I would say not one single person watching right now would have an idea where I'm going to take this. So this scandal with Shannon Sharpe and this woman who he met allegedly when she was 19 and he was 54 has rocked Shannon Sharpe's career and his personal life. It has hit the future of his $100 million podcast deal. It's pretty much has DDT'd his $100 million podcast deal. Some people are saying that Shannon gambled with his career by releasing those raunchy text messages. and that he actually opened up that Pandora box. Tony Bugsby, the lawyer for the plaintiff, yesterday said that they was not going to release the video. They was not going to release it, but Shannon Sharpe brought it to light, so they decided um, that they would address it, but they're still not going to release it. I can't imagine that they would have that tape and won't release it. But apparently, Shannon's team has watched the video, but he refused to watch it during, I think it was some type of mediation. Shannon had been enjoying a runaway success on his podcast club, Shay Shay. He had a deal with Volume. What was the name? What's the name of that company? Volume. Anyway, they do the podcasting. And, that deal, as it was coming to an end, it garnered a lot of interest for Shannon and his podcast, a lot from different networks and others who are in the podcast game who were lining up around the corner to get a piece of that Club Shay Shay. Club Shay Shay has attracted millions of listeners, and it boasts over 4 million YouTube subscribers. With Shannon Sharpe's deal with Volume, that's the network owned by Fox anchor Colin Cowherd. I didn't know that, but yeah, he owns the network that Shannon actually. This is crazy. Shannon Sharpe's deal with Volume is the network owned by Fox anchor Colin Cowherd. Well, anyway, that's neither here nor there because that deal is expiring. Now, with the emergence of two separate sexual misconduct lawsuits, which included graphic text messages seen by the world, has forced Shannon to step away from appearing on First Take until later this year. And that's really pending. That's really going to be determined by how things go over the next several months. So from what I understand, the allegations have basically sent shockwaves through ESPN and derailed plans for other media companies to inquire about his podcast properties. So a lot of these other companies have hit the brakes. They've smashed the brakes on pursuing Shannon and offering him those 9 figures. Yeah, I didn't know Shay had a network, but he does have a network that includes the 520 podcast, Bubba Dub Show, and Humble Baddies. But a source close to Shannon, who works on First Take, allegedly said that Shannon gambled with his career amid a slew of disturbing allegations from the lawsuits. According to court documents, Shannon allegedly violently sexually assaulted and anally raped a 20-year-old woman in October 2024 as she begged him to stop. So So let's get into this, fam. Because you're hearing people saying things like, well, I can't see anybody want to work with him after this. Uh, his name is on everybody's lips, you know, and everything that's coming out is bad. Um, in a statement posted to Instagram, Shannon maintained that the relationship was 100% consensual. And he said he plans to return to ESPN in time for preseason coverage. His statement said, "At this time, I have decided to step away temporarily from my duties at ESPN. I will be using this time to focus on my family and addressing these false and disruptive allegations." The woman said she and Shannon met at a Los Angeles gym in January 2023 and began a sexual or consensual relationship that later turned manipulative and controlling. A source within ESPN said that Shannon continued presence on First Take caused internal tension, with some questioning why the network didn't suspend him immediately. This situation is a complete disaster, the source said. People are shocked, and it's likely his reputation and career are irreparably damaged. Another ESPN employee described the workplace atmosphere as unbearable, like a war zone, adding that many were disgusted by Shannon Sharpe. They said he seemed toxic now. This is what the insider is saying. Trust has been broken, and people would have complained to management or even resigned if he hadn't stepped down. Man, get out of here. I'm not believing that. I don't believe that these people would have just resigned because Shannon Sharpe was still working at ESPN. Um, I think this is fake outrage, fam. I really do. That's one of Deion Sanders' thing. I really do. I really do. I think this is fake outrage. I don't believe people in the United States when when they have so much tolerance for all types of things, including murder. They're not resigning because of somebody's been accused of murder when they at their job. They don't resign. When the last time you heard of a police officer resigning after one of his fellow officers killed somebody? They don't resign. They go out and have a few beers. At the very least, at the most, they might distance themselves, but they're not losing their job. They're not quitting their job. This is fake outrage. I believe Shannon Sharpe is being penalized for being freaky. I believe Shannon Sharpe is being penalized for hurting the feelings of a white girl. I believe Shannon Sharpe is being penalized for having a huge age gap while dating. He's being penalized for things that are not criminal. He's losing hundreds of millions of dollars for doing something that's not criminal, for doing something that millions of people daily do. Millions. And I bet you $1 to a donut that a lot of people at Fox got freaky habits just like him, and probably even freakier than that. I believe that all of this is fake outrage. America is not serious about protecting and getting justice for victims of SA. Now, for clarity, because I know some of you out there are listening for the whole in the conversation. You're not listening to get understanding. You're not listening to be entertained. You're not listening for support. You're only listening to see if I fumble the ball. You're only listening to see if I slip up on something, if I leave a hole in there, that's some type of hole that you can exploit. Right? That's the only reason why you're listening. America is not serious about sexual assault, protecting victims of sexual assault, and getting justice for them. I am an advocate for victims of SA. I put in work behind the scenes that y'all have no idea. And I've done it for years and years and years. But I'm also very cognizant of when somebody who looked like me is being targeted. I'm cognizant of anybody being targeted. When I see somebody being targeted, I'm cognizant of that. If Shannon Sharpe had stayed on the black side, we probably wouldn't be talking about this. But you know, them white woman tears are different from everybody else's tears. Even if she has a history of engaging in nefarious activities, even if she is a nymphomaniac. Did you hear how that woman was talking on them text messages? Nobody's talking about her calling her a slut, a freak, a weirdo, nothing. All of the accusations are hurled toward Shannon. Well, you know, she was young, you know, he groomed her, she was young. Okay, let's say she was 19 when he met her. Number one, that's legal. 19, ain't nothing illegal about running up in somebody 19 years old. That's totally legal. No matter what other people might think about it, how disgusting they think it is, it's legal, right? Let's start there. Let's take it a little further. Why is it that the 19-year-old woman that everybody is so focused on her age, being 19, everybody's so focused on her age and her inability to make rash decisions, you know, to make rational decisions, to make to have discernment. Everybody's focused on that part, right? where she's young, he groomed her, he da, right? She has, nobody is saying, well, I guess somebody's out there saying it, but very few people, by comparison, is calling her out for her targeting Shannon Sharpe, pursuing Shannon Sharpe. Nobody's saying anything about that. Nobody's talking about how she behaves. Nobody's questioning her character, how she talks. She got a potty mouth. How she get down in the bedroom. The same thing that whatever Shannon was doing, he was doing it with her. It take two to tango. So nobody's talking about that. Everything's just Shannon this, Shannon that. He did this, he did that. Okay. So why is it that a 19-year-old female can escape accountability in regards to the men that she date when she date men that are older than her, much older than her? She has no accountability whatsoever. She has no accountability when it comes to her sexual behavior. But if she kills somebody, y'all gonna say lock her up. If she go and steal something out of the store, y'all gonna say, oh, she needs to be locked up. She should be ashamed of herself. You're gonna make sure she's held accountable. Right or wrong? You're gonna make sure she's held accountable. You're gonna be up in arms if she go and walk up and slap somebody in the face. You're gonna be like, oh, hell no. If she abused a child, you're gonna say, oh, she lock her up. Lock her up. You don't care nothing about her background. You don't care nothing about her age at that point. You got the same type of attitude for 15 years. When a 15-year-old girl go out there and rob somebody, y'all gonna be like, lock her ass up. Or I would have shot her. But if a 15-year-old girl go out there and have sex with a 21-year-old man or 30-year-old man, now you don't put any accountability on her whatsoever. Everything is on the guy. Why is it like that when it comes to sex? Out of all the other things that people do in the world, out of all the other things that juveniles do, that young girls do, sex is the one thing that she is not held accountable for. The guy being with older guys is something that she don't get held accountable for. All she got to do is say, yeah, he groomed me. Oh, he took advantage of me. And she don't tell you about the time she went and got the other girls for him. She ain't gonna tell you about that part. Come on, fam. I'm just calling it all out. Yes, Shannon should have had more discernment. Yes, he absolutely should have had more discernment. But he didn't break a law. He broke no laws. Depending on what your morals are, one might say, well, that's just immoral. That's just not right. He shouldn't have done it. I get you, man. I'm with you on that. Yeah, depending on what your morals is. Yeah, cool. Yeah. But being a freak is not a crime unless you commit a crime while being a freak. Going into the comments. What's up, Tina Watson? And let me say this again, fam. America is, let's say Shannon was in the wrong. Let's just say he was in the wrong. Most of the people who are in an uproar and want to see him brought to a heel, want to see him have his legacy destroyed, want to see his podcast go up in flames. They don't have that same energy for SA overall. half the women, half the white women in America voted for Donald Trump, a man who was accused of SN over a couple of dozen women. One he was found guilty of in a civil suit. This is the same guy who, before he became president, he gave women everywhere a stern warning that SN a woman is okay. Do y'all forget that Trump said, I like to grab him by the peep? He's just, without any permission, he just likes to grab him by the peep, without any permission. And all of these women are still making excuses for him and riding for him. They don't even talk about that. They act like it don't even happen. What type of incentive do you think that gives him and other men who are like him to know that, man, damn, he had a video come out where he talked about SN a woman, and half the white women in America still voted for him. Then he had about 6 or 7 or 5% of black women voted for him. That's a lot of women to say that they are seriously concerned about SN. Those same women, a lot of those same women destroyed R. Kelly. They destroyed R. Kelly, but they voted for Donald Trump. I'll give you some more proof that America is not serious about victims of SA. In America, they did a study in America that determined 95% of RAPE kits that are in evidence rooms throughout the United States at police departments are untested. 95% of RAPE kits evidence go untested. Does that sound like somebody trying to crack the case? Does that sound like the habits of a country that's trying to protect victims of SA? If it's me and it's a priority to me, I'm cracking down. Look, I want all them goddamn tests done by Friday. I want it done now. I want every damn test. Hey, man, I want those kits tested. We clearing this up. Whatever backlog we got, we finna get down to it right now. They ain't doing that. You know why? Because a lot of judges participate in SA. A lot of police officers participate in SA. A lot of sitting politicians participate in SA. Why do you think that sometimes you will watch a rapist get a slap on the wrist, don't even do time? Sometimes they get probation. Sometimes they get off they get 100% off the hook. 100%. Sometimes they get convicted and the judge will suspend the sentence. Look, considering everything, I know you're a young man and you're in college and you come from a good family. I don't want to ruin your life, even though you've ruined all these little children's lives. You ruined these girls' lives, and you beat them up and kicked them and stomped them and you killed them. Look, you got a good future ahead of you. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to suspend, you got a 15-year sentence. I'm going to suspend it, which means that if you stay out of trouble for 5 years, it'll go away. You know why judges do that? because they either paid off, they can relate to the rapist, or both. That's why they do it. So they can't get me to jump on the Tat Shannon down bandwagon. I'm not doing that. I don't know Shannon Sharpe, but I what I do know that he's a hardworking brother, and I know that he means well. Yeah, sometimes he overshares, but he means well. But that's what happens a lot of times when you get a podcast. You get a podcast, man, you got to talk about something. You got to talk. You're talking all the time. And from time to time, you're going to slip up. Sometimes you're going to overshare. From time to time, you're going to say things that you regret saying because you're on the spot. You're in the hot seat. And so a lot of times you're speaking right there on the cuff, and you're live a lot of times too. So sometimes you're going to slip up. I don't see where Shannon Sharpe should be destroyed when there's so many damn people need to skip the line, should be in front of him. There's some people out there right now that's got some podcasts. Ain't nobody talking about bringing down. Ain't nobody talking about they should lose opportunities or none of that. There's some horrible people out there. There are some sick individuals out there. There are some weirdos out there who are anti-progressive to the community that they so-called represent. Now, I'm not going to pile on it. I'm not going to pile it on. Nah, no, that's not happening over here. I think they're all hypocrites. I think they're all hypocrites. I think this is a shakedown. Why else are you Why are you recording this man without his knowledge in the first place? If somebody was to record me while I was in a relationship with them, or any type of relationship, even if we just having sex, whatever it was, if somebody was recording me, I would be suspicious of that person. That's suspicious activity, to record a person without their knowledge. Okay, let's say you did it and you meant no harm, but immediately after you recorded, you need to advise the person that you actually recorded them. Oh, look what I just recorded of you. Look at this, right? Okay, that's harmless. Okay, they might like it. It's cool. They might not like it. It's cool. If they like it, they might decide to delete it anyway. Yeah, I like that, but delete it. And then you delete it right there in front of them. You make sure that they can see you deleted it twice. You delete once, and then you go into the trash and you clear it out. Make sure it's deleted. It's gone. Okay, it's gone. Boom. Then you get back to your action. Get back to it. You see what I'm saying? You don't be recording people, man, like that without their knowledge. I wouldn't trust her. This is a money grab. This is a 100% money grab. You can't tell me no different. And just because Shannon is famous, just because he got the money, don't mean that people should be able to shake him down and just take what he worked for. You got somebody laying on their back getting 50 million, trying to get 50 million, laying on your back? Hell no. Hell no. You ain't interviewed one person, you ain't caught one football. Hell no. You ain't lift one weight. You ain't ran around one track. You ain't did no research. All you did was got freaky, got mad, and got $50 million. Hell no. Hell no. Larry Skillmore. And for anybody out there who ain't never seen the kind of money Shannon seen, if you ain't rich or whatever, if you hating on the dude just because he rich, you ain't never gonna be rich. You ain't never gonna get it. You're not gonna get it like that. You're not gonna get it like that. You're not gonna get it hating on the people who's in a position that you desire to be in. Not talking about being in a position where you're being sued and all that, but I'm talking about where they're living the life, where they got the money, where they got the means, they got the houses, the cars, and all that. Everybody aspire to have that. At least most people do. Most people aspire to have a cushy lifestyle. You're not going to get no cushy lifestyle hating on the people who's living a cushy lifestyle. The best that you could do is study that person. Study those people who live a cushy lifestyle. Study them, and then figure out how you can get some of that money. I always use people who are doing better than me financially as motivation. Never, not once in my life have I looked at them and said, that mother, man, that woo woo woo, he got it. Why I can't I don't do it like that. When I was coming up, I saw the dude in the fly car with the fly jewelry, with the fly clothes, and the women. And I was like, yeah, I want that. Not his, but my own. But some dudes, they look at what the other guy got and they like, I want his woman. I want his jewelry. I want his clothes. I want his car. And they'll try to kill you to take it. I never in my life moved like that. I don't move like that. I do not move like that. I never move like that. If I see a dude got something that I want, I try to put myself in a position to get what he has, something similar to what he has. Some people, they see what somebody have and they start talking down and being trolls and all of that. Instead of going to the person, trying to reach out to the person, they might respond or they might not. But you ain't gonna get nowhere trying to bring somebody down that's in a position that you want to be in. You ain't fooling nobody based on what you're doing and why you're doing it. You're not fooling anybody. Everybody know what it is. They see what you're doing. Straight hating. You serve yourself better trying to reach out to the person and be like, hey, oh man, or just study that person. But some dudes, they do that. Some dudes will study you and still talk down. They'll study you and try to implement what you do and still be talking down. All the while, all the while trying to copycat. Miss Jazzy is in the building. What's up, Miss Jazzy? I don't know if y'all had an opportunity to check out my video that came out earlier today about Chris Carter going in on Shador Sanders, but man, he went in on Shador Sanders. He really, really talked bad about that boy and his daddy. And I was totally surprised and caught off guard that I guess I wasn't totally surprised, but I was caught off guard that Chris Carter, one of the elders that's in the game, a living legend, would address Shador the way he did and address Dion the way that he did. Um, it's sad, bro. It's sad. Like he's a why not as an elder look at the younger brother and say he ain't doing what I would have done. I don't think he would have done that, but you know what, man? Let me reach out to him. And I know Dion is dad and everything, but you know, let me reach out to him and just let him know how these people get down over here. Maybe just in case he don't know. But yeah, they humbled him. They humbled him. But here's the thing. Why is it so important for people to see black men humbled? I've never heard humble associated with white dudes or any other dudes. You know, he humbled that Indian guy. He humbled that Hispanic guy. I've never heard that. When they use the word humble, they always talking about, it's always associated with black folks. Why black folks always got to be humble? It's okay to be humble, but humbled, they want to humble you. It's okay to be humble in certain situations. But overall, just being humble, just humble him. You know that to me, humble him is code for emasculated. It's code for pour some tar on him and tar and feather him. Give him 50 lashes in the middle of Times Square, in the middle of the town square. Humble him. Buck break him. That's what that's about. If I'm in Chris Carter's shoes and I'm a vet, I know how the game go. If I got something negative to say about Shador Sanders, I would say it to his face or I would say it in private. I would say it to his face or in private. I would not say it on a public forum where they can take my words and use my words to further their agenda and shape their narrative against Shador Sanders, a young black man who's trying to find his way. I would not aid them. I would not help them destroy Shador or try to destroy Shador or Dion. I would not speak out publicly against them. If I feel some kind of way privately, okay, I'm going to say it in private. But I'm not going to no public forum and give them some ammunition to use. Oh, yeah, you see that? Willie D even said it. Because that's all they be doing. Every time something go down in the black community, they try to find black people who are going to go against their own. They try to find black people who will throw that black person or people under the bus to aid with their agenda and help shape their narrative. That's what they do. And they ain't got no shortage of them. They always find them. It's easy to find them. They everywhere. They be popping up like fires in Los Angeles in 1992. You know, if you're honest with yourself, Boy, it ain't a black person in this damn country that got a damn real brain, that where that brain really operate like it's supposed to, would tell you that racism in America is not a huge problem. Nobody in their right mind would say something that stupid. So you got to give the youngster grace. You got to look at him and say, you know what, man? I don't like all that flash stuff, all that, oh, I'm legendary and all that. I don't like all that flashy stuff, but he's a youngster, man, little youngster, whatever. Boy, I really want to say something, but I ain't gonna say it here. I ain't finna say it in front of this white dude right here. I ain't finna say it on no public forum where I know if I'm not gonna get on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, none of that. I'm not jumping on no podcast, and I'm not doing none of that to speak down against Deion Sanders, his boys, girls, none of them. And I'm not doing that against any other young black boy, a young black man, because I know what he's up against already. He's up against the same stuff that I was up against. They're going to always be coming for us. So why would I make that man life harder? Why would I play that game with them? Well, it's plenty of them going to do it already. Why would I add on to that? I'm not helping them. I'm not helping them. I know what they think of R. Kelly. I know R. Kelly made some mistakes. I know R. Kelly ain't perfect. I'm not going to help them destroy him. I'm not saying nothing. I know R. Kelly done got out of pocket. I'm not going to help them destroy him. Because I know why they want to destroy him. Because if it wasn't about that, they would be also doing the same thing to their own. So we know what it's about. Just like we know what it's about, what happened with Shedeur Sanders speaking his mind, saying that if you don't want to turn your franchise around, take your franchise to the next level, don't draft me. He spoke his mind like Eli Manning did when they asked him about what team he wanted to play for. He said, I don't want to play for the San Diego Chargers. I want to play for the New York Giants. And his daddy was right there like, yeah, that's right now what? Ain't nobody said nothing. Ain't nobody questioned it. He got drafted by the San Diego Chargers. And when he got drafted, he had number one pick, got drafted, number one pick to the San Diego Chargers. And he got up all grumpy and disappointed. A little bit later, here come the trade. Got traded to the New York Giants. Got what he wanted, and ain't nobody said nothing. That's because they expect that. They accept that. They want that. They love that machoism. They love that standing on business, that masculinity. They love that from the mother boys. But when we do it, it's a problem. Just like they love it when they defend themselves. Man, he shot 3 of them, man. Hell yeah, done the same thing. They love it. They see them walking around with the guns on their hips, and they got shotguns, they walking around. They love to see that when they do it. But when we do it, they call the police. What the police? We scared. Now, because the white black man got a gun. Oh, boy, they scared. They get scared as hell when black men behave like men. That's why they be promoting all of this homosexuality on TV and on the internet. and in magazines. Black homosexuality, black male homosexuality. They ain't scared of none of that. They love that. Oh, look at it. They love emasculating black men. That is that strong one. It's that one that's gonna hold it down, the one that's gonna stay with his family, the one that's gonna love on his children, protect his children, provide for his children, coach his children, counsel his children, warn his children, invest in his children. That's the one that they fear because they don't want black folks to ever rise, ever get ahead. So when they start talking all of that, when they start, hold on, I got me a troll. Hold on, get up out of here. I don't want to hear that. This fool gonna say, "Yeah, Willie, can we talk about something different?" Hell no. You ain't calling CNN talking about you ain't over there on the Fox channel. You ain't over there on Tucker Carlson talking about can we talk about something different? Get up out of here with that. Deflected. Yeah, well, I got him, fam. I got him like this. I know him. I got him like this. They gonna try to shame me into silence, into submission. It ain't gonna work over here. Ain't gonna work over here. You know, I be on those other pages too. I be on all kinds of sites to be watching them, looking, seeing what they doing, watching, looking. I don't sit there for hours or nothing like that, but I go and do a snipe. Check out, let me see what they saying. Okay. I just try to catch, the pulse. And you can go on these Breitbarts and Fox and any of these conservative sites. You never see black people on them sites saying, "Can we talk about something different?" But they like to come on our platform talking about let's talk about something different. You never even hear defectors on their platform. Hey man, can we just all get along? You know, you don't hear none of that. They be like, yeah, damn straight, damn Skippy, you're right. Yeah, right on, brother. You good, yeah. Talk about something else. If you follow the channel, you'll know that I talk about all kinds of things. All kinds of things. But I'm not going to let race go. One of the most important topics, one of the greatest violations that happens on a daily basis. Stop violating people. Stop being racist. Cut it out. And I'll talk about something different. I'll go to something that I won't ever talk about it because I'm raced out already anyway. I don't want to talk about this shit all the time. I be trying to avoid it. That's why sometimes you can go through just go through the rabbit hole of my videos, and you'll see sometimes I don't even talk about race stuff at all because I'm trying to get a break. But what happens is these people are so blatant with that anti-black stance that some of this stuff, I just got to talk about it. I just got to cover it. I can't let it slide. And I'm not letting this slide. They're over there on Fox News talking down about us every day. So we're not supposed to counter that? They're out there planting seeds of hate every day. I can't plant some seeds of love. They say love hurts. Love costs. Yeah, this is a good point right here. Appreciate that, Scott. Troy Scott. Troy say, read the title before you click on the video, and you won't have to ask about something different. And if you watch the video and don't like what you hear, just click on to another video. You dig? That's all you got to do. Why does somebody look at a title and go to the comments? Can we talk about something different? Go to the comments and say something like, who cares? I don't know about you, fam, but I don't give any time to something I don't care about. I don't give it any time. I would not, if I didn't care about something, I would not hop in the comment section and say anything. If I don't care, I don't care. I'm too busy. I got stuff to do. So I wouldn't give that any of my time if I didn't care. Who cares? King Jess, better tell him. We block trolls over here because trolls are hoes. They act like I can't sniff out a spy. Like I can't tell when a spy on my platform. When a mole is then came in here, a plant. It's in the comments. So if you're just not watching, fam, Shannon Sharpe's $100 million podcast deal. It looks like it's not going to happen. So he got a scandal going on now with two accusers that are saying that he violated them sexually. So now these networks who were lined up just days ago to try to get a piece of Club Shay Shay are now running scared. They don't want anything to do with Shannon. I suspect that Shannon will bounce back. I suspect that he'll land on his feet. I don't know how long that'll take because that needs to be some PR done to repair his image, which I ain't got no problem with his image because what he's being accused of is all just being a freak, and him being a freak ain't got nothing to do with me. That's his business behind closed doors, how he get out. That's his business. Ain't got nothing to do with me. So all of these people that's acting like it's got something to do with them, I think a lot of people are just hypocrites, and I think a lot of people are just, this is just false outrage. This is This is a selective outrage. I think he'll land on his feet. Boy, when they want to get you, boy, all they got to do is throw something sexual out there. Because a lot of stuff, people, man, that sex thing is something different, ain't it? Because a lot of stuff a person can do and people just be over it, like, yeah, and they'll just get over it. But when it comes to sex, something that everybody does, well, not everybody, but many of us are gonna do at some point. That's when people just lose. Even if it's legal. I look at a dude and be like, man, that nigga weird. Like, he weird. I wouldn't be kicking it with him. Because I'd be like, like if people do certain things and you be like, you ain't going to persecute them. You're not going to prosecute them, but you might persecute them. That's weird. I ain't going to hang out with you or whatever, but, I'm not going to prosecute you either. I'm not going to try to destroy you either. Being freaky is not a crime. But according to some people, depends on what you look like, it could be. Big Ed, I see you. What up? Randy Rodriguez. What's up, Randy Rodriguez? Django Jenkins. What's up? Black Lives Matter 2024. Evian. What's up? Evian. Mike Dan. Stand the manifesto. All Shannon got to do is weather the storm. And he'll be all right. Just weather the storm. It won't be his first time. Weather the storm, he'll be all right. As long as he keep that YouTube channel up. And at this point, I don't think YouTube would do something to try to take his channel. But that's where he got the most power, YouTube. Keep that YouTube channel up and he'll be all right. At the very least, he ain't gonna miss no meals. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all for joining the live. Appreciate you, Miss Jazz, they holding it down on the moderator duties. Sean Lunatic, I see you. What's up, King? That's my time. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.